All right, I'm going to go ahead and start this live stream. So, like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes if you're watching this after I record it. And I'll just wait for people to jump on. I already updated on my page, my market overview. I won't go through that in this live stream unless someone asks, but I will just jump to the first question. So yeah, Mitso, thanks for joining. Sofi and Zimmer, Neo. So yeah, let's start with the ones I have. Neo is, again, that $7 area is critical support, right? I believe I even gave a Neo update just here. So here we are. So Neo is trying to hold this low here at $6.99, $7. You know, if you want my honest opinion, I think it's going to break that low, given the bearishness in the market. And right now, that sector is getting a lot of negative press lately. You know, so I would look at it as potentially more bearish at the moment. And so I would just look at this as a fifth wave down into this area. That's probably the best way to label it. Now, here you looks like you have your first wave, and then some kind of 3 and 5, tight 3 and 5, 3, 4, 5 here. So this is your first impulse, and then we broke the low. So that was the key pivot. We broke it. So I do believe it's pretty clear there's more downside coming in Neo. And now what it is here could be this could be a flat. It could be an A, B, C. It could still be in 2. So that could be a short opportunity if that happens. Here it looks like 5 waves down. So to me it looks like that 2 is in, and now this was this is another 1, 2 here. The question is if this 2 is done or not. It looks like it's probably done. Yeah, so like rest of the market, it's just hanging on hanging on, just hanging on by a thread. So I do think it's going lower to this area now that I've got highlighted. All right, Neo, Sofi, financials are getting killed, right? I mean, I haven't been really following a lot of those stocks because they're just, they're just kind of in bearish mode right now. Nothing, interesting. But what SoFi is a little different, I know. Here, where do we have that? There it is. So SoFi, we've really traded this one pretty well. We had a short area here, nailed it. We had another short area here, nailed that. Now we're in the 3 moment, but again, we don't. What I like to label a wave 3 and label that complete with a gap, some kind of gap and run, and we don't have that because we just get this bullishness. So I still don't think we have seen the 3 of 3 moment in this, because you don't have any gap down, any gaps. And you see all this divergence here, all this divergence here. I don't like that either as well, but let's go to a higher time frame. You see this this is bullish divergence here, and then this peak reset the cycle. So actually it's probably better not to label it as a 1, 2, but label that as a full impulse down, and then label this like that, something like that. Okay, and then here, this leg looks like it finished right here. Something like that. And this could be doing a flat, so we got to be careful like this. But looking at it, my guess is this peak and these two peaks will be respected. So my guess is it's ready for a massive 3 of 3 to the downside. And it's expected because the Russell broke the October lows. And I think that's going to create some free fall selling, especially in the small caps. Because now it's lights out, right? There's people trapped in the Russell from back, years and years now ago. So if you're trading the small caps, look at the Russells, any small cap, right? We are now trading below the October lows, and we are trading all the way back to 2018 levels. So people that bought in 2018 are now underwater, and eventually people that have bought back in 2014 are going to be underwater. All those people. So that's why small caps is not a good investment. Also, small caps down have been correlated with interest rates higher on the long end, right? When this happened, the rates went up. When this happened, the rates went up. So that's why I think bonds are not a safe haven if you believe in this pattern that I'm showing you here. But you got to do what's best for you. So I don't like long any small caps until the Russell trades down to these levels that seem unthinkable. But unfortunately, my system predicts that's where it's going to go. Just like it predicted where Target was going to go, where end phase was going to go. And I can just keep naming other stocks that I had lows that were unthinkable that have all almost, Target's almost there. End phase, I think, got hit on earnings finally. So I think, so this is where the Russells got going, guys. I know it's hard to believe, but that's where it is. So that's why if you're buying small caps, you're not doing it the right way. You want to short small caps now, pretty much. And then Zoom, we had the Zoom target in the 50s, I think. Again, that was more of pattern trading to see if I can find my Zoom here. Where is it? There it is. All right, so we've had this target in Zoom highlighted at $53. It's going into earnings on the 21st. So that's where I've got it right now. We'll have to wait and see. There's a couple things I don't like. One, I just don't like the bigger picture of the pattern. But now we're going to get below. We're already below this IPO level. And typically when that happens, it's usually lights out. And you have all this massive supply. I look at this pattern and I go, yeah, this is a typical fifth wave pattern. When the move ends, is ready to spike up to like 130. However, there's that other bearish situation I talked about. We do need to see divergence get erased. Let me see here, unless it was a flat. And I have it as an impulse, just a general impulse. Okay, so maybe you don't need the divergence erased. So this is a tough one. I think you're going to have to wait. And then you're going to have to make a decision if you really want to own it. This would be the area. And then you'll just at some point have to stop out. All right, I'll just go to your guys' super chats here, like we've done in the past. SYR, KSI, HPS. Okay, let's take a look at these and see what we have here. SYR, ASX exchange. And so right away you can see there's no divergence here at the bottom. That's good. But there's no divergence at the top. That's bad. That means this is some kind of corrective move against this decline. So there is no guarantee that this low will hold at 13 cents. So we're trading this impulse then. And if we're trading that impulse, here you don't have any divergence. So you're still in some kind of third wave, which is what you would expect. Now, on the shorter time frame, you do have bullish divergence here. As you can see clearly, quite a bit of it. and then you try to run up. So this to me is a flat correction that isn't finished, but it's about to. So I do think this could be a long opportunity for you, but not yet. I do think it's got one more low looking at it, and then it should be ready to run at least another wave higher. I believe that's the 4 wave, and it needs another push in 5 to create that bullish divergence, which you expect to see with a flat like this. So I'd be looking for like 30 cents in a retest of this low at 16.5. So that's what I'd be looking for, and then I would stop out at that low at 14.5, somewhere here. So I think that's where it's headed. Let's look at this one more time. Let's go to a smaller time frame. You know, I look at on a shorter time frame, you could see here that perhaps actually maybe it is done. Let's take another look at it a little bit closer. Yeah, so we'll relabel it. This is why you have to get your time frame right. So we'll call it finished here because the RSI reset is so extreme. So now it really has to hold 43 cents. If it doesn't, then it will go back and break 14.5 cents. So I do think you have a bullish breakout now on this as long as it's above 42 cents. Now here you have a 3-wave move that looks incomplete, but let's go to a shorter time frame. There is no divergence there. That's good. Here you have bullish divergence. So to me, it looks like the pattern is the correction's over. But see, it didn't go deep enough. So my fear would be that this is a connector and it makes one more swing down. So, and that gets you back to retest this low. It's a real tough count here, you know, but I think it's bullish against 41.5 cents. And you could make the case that the 2-wave is in already. I'm not sure, what does this company do? Tesla supplier, what do they do? Mining, yeah, graphite and shit like that. Okay, so yeah, that stuff's in favor right now, commodity type stuff. So maybe that's why it's reacting the way it is, but do what's best for you. But I think this is what I would call it. As long as it's above 42 cents, I believe the dips will be supported based on the breakout here you've got. Well, and we'll add that to the commodity. Okay, next one you had was KSI. KSI is on TSE. I would assume this is what you mean, TSX. Typically, let's see here. Oh, that's why they did, because of China. Well, yeah, well, and things are only going to get more heated with China, I'm sure, in the future. So that's probably why investors want to get in on that. All right, so it's still in the uptrend, but this to me is a connector wave for the first move down here. Look at this. This is massive hidden bearish divergence. I mean, so it almost definitely has another swing lower to go before it could be a buy. So that takes you down to like 77 cents to retest the low area. I do believe this will break. The question is when will it break? You can watch the trend line here. It almost looks like the pattern in the Russell index. I mean, look at that. It's probably done here. So more than likely, the pattern's over here. and is some kind of WXY, and it's now about to go into its 303 moment to the downside. And then the next one you have is HPS. Okay, this is it. Yep. Oh, this one broke out to new highs. That's good. After a daily correction in 3 waves. Perfect. So this is good. This is a nice chart, a bullish chart to look at. Wow, there's a lot of price history. Or let's go back here and see. So you got this other pump here. So you gotta be careful. You gotta look at the entire history of the chart to make sure we get it right. I think that low broke here, right there. And then it's in some kind of wave 3, obviously, right? So the question is it going to extend? So first, in this wave 3, this peak should get taken out, and it hasn't. So it's probably still in wave 3, or whatever it's doing. And here, there's no divergence. So this is probably extending. It's still going to go higher. Yeah, see. And this is where a lot of Elliott wave folks will get fooled thinking this is a 5th wave. But if you look at the RSI, it just doesn't support that right now. It would have been maybe possible if that this peak needs to get taken out, and I believe it will. So this is a very bullish chart. I don't know what they're up to, whatever this company's up to, but people want to pile in. And here you had a massive reset here. So this was a nice look how small the correction was for this entire move. That's how bullish it is. People are not selling it. You see, this is that separation I've been talking about, guys. We haven't got on the downside on the indices. You want to see that. And then you can label the first 3, right? Then I'm like, okay, there's your first 3, 4. Now we could play the 4s and 5s out unless we start erasing divergence again on the shorter time frames. And see, you have your first divergence. Now, if this takes it out, then it's just another 1, 2. And then it just keeps going. You see how it just can keep going. So we'll see how this plays out. You know, where can it end up? Upside can be significant given the shallowness of the corrections. Again, I'm doing this kind of fast. Whoops. Like 138 could be where it starts to really, people start to take profit. So what do these guys do? What's going on with this company? Power distribution transformers. Again, some kind of industrial company. Industrial, looks like. Not sure. Whatever it's doing, it must be, you know, doing it right. So that's good. And so charts like this, if we do ever get pullbacks, these are ones you can go long. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Let's go to the next super chat. Anonymous for 10. Oh yeah, AEHR. Yeah, AEHR, man, is done. The move's done, and that was it was fun while it lasted. But as you know, everything goes up. Everything's got to come down. AEHR. Yeah, wow, it's even more bearish than I thought it would be. So this pattern, I mean, it got a little bit of a bounce. Let's see in the RSI. Yeah, it looks like this is your connector here. So you've got an extension. So this thing's toast. It's like, I can label this as a 1 2 1 2, and it's still in 3 of 3 of A, right? This could still be just A, like that. I mean, it could be you know, something else. Like there's too many possibilities. There's no setup to trade other than short rallies, right? Short rallies. So my guess is, you know, for something like this, looking at where I think it's heading, I mean, we could look at the retrace on it and see, you know, somewhere in here, 20 bucks. The teens would be extreme, but we are getting a straight down kind of crash correction here. So maybe you see something like this. You know, it would be surprising if the connector's already formed and we're getting just kind of a crash correction. You know, we're getting something like, but it could be. I wouldn't, there's no setup to buy it though, because this is just, it's too extreme. There's really nothing. I would just kind of ignore it for now if I was trading it. The easy short money is over. There's other things to go into. But anyway, Mara and UPS. So I still believe that Bitcoin is in a flat pattern, and that's got to play out. Hold on one second, guys. Yeah, so I think, and that's why I think Mara is going to go down, which is also why I think it's underperforming. I think that's a clue, right? Bitcoin made a higher high, but Mara didn't. And I was talking about it, that this connector looked kind of weak and we could still spike up in X. I believe that's the case. I still think it's coming back to retest this low at 3. And I'll be a buyer of Mara here. That would be, to me, a risk reward setup. But we need to see where Bitcoin's trading. I believe now it's bearish against 1068. If it can take out 1068, then, you know, then I have to maybe change my mind a little bit. But I do think we got the bounce where we expected it, but I do believe this is going to fail, as Bitcoin will fail in the flat. It's just my opinion, but you'll have to do what's best for you. But if you could take this high out, then you're getting more evidence that the bullish case is sound. But you would have thought this would have been up here, right, with Bitcoin where it is, but it isn't. So there's some divergence there. UPS. Haven't looked at UPS in a while. Oh, look at that. It looks like it's in a buy area. But I wouldn't be buying it. We need to check this connector out to see if it's still valid. It looks like it is. Okay, so it is in a buy area, but as you can see, the swings aren't done yet. The swings, I don't think, are finished. The swings aren't finished yet. Yeah, the swings aren't finished. So what I would be doing on this is holding off for now. And so you have your 3 waves here. As you can see, you need this 4 and 5. And this 4 should bounce as much as this 2 or similar. So it's 3 of 3 moment. So it's probably going to come down lower into this low 100s, something like that. Now, if it breaks 99, then normally what happens if it extends that much, then it's going to bounce and fail again later on in next year, where it will bounce like that and then fail again. So it may break 99 or more importantly break 81. If it breaks that, then yes, it's going to bounce. It's going to have a massive rally like this, but that rally will fail more than likely, unfortunately, because the extension. Not guaranteed, but it's typical. what happens. Thanks for that. And then, okay, Donald Gibson for 5 on the SPXS. Yeah, that one's been playing out just like we wanted it to, but now we'll see if we need to be cautious on it or not. I think 385, 390 is going to get hit, and then there's going to be a tough decision to make. Here it is. The target was always 1874. We're almost there, but we're not quite. So the question is this a WXY? What is this structure that we're looking at? Yeah, it's just a real shallow connector. That's what fooled a lot of market participants. We never got a big connector. So we're in this Y wave. So there's definitely more downside coming here. And we need to erase this divergence. So this Y is going to extend. It's going to be an extended Y more than likely. And there's a lot of different ways to label it, but this could be like a 1, 2, and then you get this 3, 4, 5 and extend. So I'm looking for something like that to happen. Just like the indices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you pull back, and then you get a nice extension, and we erase these divergences that we have, and we get massively overbought. And ideally, you can even get a blow off top to hit this 21, this trend line. But this is just playing out exactly like we wanted it, and we even showed the buy area here, and it's played out nice. But I think you got you pull back to maybe 1738 at the most, and then a catastrophe in 3 of 3. And I really don't know how long this Y could go. It could go pretty significant. We just don't know. But I think whatever this finishes, SPY will be at 390, 385. But you do what's best for you on that. Thanks for the 5 men. Okay. So let's kind of keep going through some of the questions you guys have. T-Doc and Bumble, like I said, they're on my shopping list. I wouldn't buy them at the moment. I would wait because of the Russell break-in. The Russell broke the October lows, so all small caps are now a no-no. So any positions I had speculative are gone. I sold those with that break on Friday. So again, you should never just blindly follow what I do anyway, but they are on my shopping list, but they're not something I would be recommended buying yet because of the Russell break. So what my count on T-Doc is we should be finishing a 3 wave. Now we broke this support area, so now that opens us up to 1240. But we should actually bounce in 4, and then it should fail again. And I believe that could be the Russell at 110, 120. So I do like buying it, but I don't like buying it now. So there's just something you just have to keep in mind that the small caps are a different trade now, all of them. And so I group them all together. Now, could one rally out of the other? Sure, I could, and that can happen. So you're just going to have to do what's best for you on that. And then Bumble is in the same situation. It will continue to ground lower until the Russell finds a bottom. So the key is Russell, guys, is a big indication, and this is what the algorithmic trading is going to do now that this low broke. Now, like vultures, the algos are going to start hammering this short, hammering it. All these rallies, because it's like a poker match and your opponent shows your card. They're weaker than they really are, right? Your opponent just showed you they're really not that strong. And now the bears, if they've been holding back, worried this was like a 1-2 and oh my gosh, it's going to pump it. Now they're like, oh no, now it's like game on. And you're going to see it. It's going to be the algos and all that programmatic trade is just going to be pounding the Russell down, just like we saw with end phase, with all these other stocks when you break these pivots. So this is going to open up this downside. So you really don't want to be, long small caps. You don't. I mean, you just can't be. So at some point this will conclude, and when it does, then you got my shopping list and you'll know what you want to buy. That has been a beast. Yeah, it could be in a grand super cycle wave 3 moment. It should just continue to be supported, which is sad for what winter heat and oil prices are going to be. I told everyone that followed me, lock in your gas prices in the summer when we were down there. I was like, lock those in. We may never see natural gas as low as it was earlier this summer, ever again. But yeah, it's been a beast. It's a typical wave 3. Bowen and Chevron. Chevron, nothing's changed. It's been the same forecast, 120, 115. And look, guys, I mean, I didn't know they were going to buy a company and the market would hate it. I didn't know they were going to miss earnings, but we knew to short it here. And now, when are we going to buy it? Right here, 120, 115. Yeah, and energy is definitely a buy. It has a different structure than the indices. So this will be good down here. But that's in a three moment. And as you can see, you see the gap and the run. We want to see that in the indices. We haven't seen that yet. Bowen, yeah, there was that bearish option for Bowen. It looks like it's playing it out. I mean, sentiment is really bad around Bowen, and they've really screwing some things up. Looks like we do have this really shallow connector, and it gave it up. So we're heading down to the low 100s on Bowen. And looking for 136.96 now. Retest. It's going to retest the low at 112, it looks like. Somewhere down here. Or 121. Yeah. Oh, that's low. So I would actually draw it down like that. All right. So that's kind of what we've got for Bowen right now. That could be a support area for the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the indices as well when we're down here. So we'll leave that. AMC, I don't chart AMC because it's split and it screwed the chart up, man. But I'll tell you, if small caps are going down like I showed you, the Russell, then AMC is going to get obliterated. All the small caps are going to get obliterated if the Russell's going down where I showed you guys. Let's see here. VRT, MLTX. Let's take a look at those. Moon Lake. Oh, some kind of biotech. Yeah, that looks like a wave 4. That's like a classic wave 4. Yeah, this is a wave 4, so it should make another high, you would think, at some point. Looks like some kind of triangle wave 4. Yeah, just finishing up. Perhaps it could bounce at 46, 41. I would expect it to fail. Now, what would be yeah, I just don't think this is a fifth wave here. I think it's going to do something like that. And then of course it will pull back and then fill that gap. So then the next one is VRT. Yeah, so here you have that unorthodox bottom. Here we need to see if it's in a flat area. I don't think so. I think it got through that danger zone. It did. So then this was some kind of flat in a 5-wave move. And this looks like a completed impulse. So this 3 is probably set. You're probably in 4 and 5. Usually the wave 4 goes back to the 618 retrace. So it'd bring you back to 29.76 and it would retest the peak. Something like that. So that's the way I'd look at it. It looks like that wave 3 is done. And now how the 4 plays out, it could be like a flag, it could be a triangle, it could be a zigzag, it could be so many things, but it does look like that 3 is in the 4. We're in 4 right now. All right. Roblox. I don't think it trades with small caps. I think it trades with like the tech index, if I remember right. We had this correction. We needed to respect this low at 21. It did. So it is bullish against 21. It could be about to go into a 3 of 3 moment. It's hard to say that given the rest of the indices. I don't have as a good forecast. But you have to do what's best for you. But the count's the count. It looks like it's going to pull back in another wave 2 of some kind. Something like that. Yeah, so it could be in accumulation area. As long as the low at 24.85 holds, it could be bullish, bullish. So just keep that in mind. So just keep that in mind. Now, so I would label it the more bullish pattern because this looks highly corrective. So there's a nice speculative long into earnings on this stock. At 29, if it got in here. Earnings is on 8 November. I don't know. Tough to say. You know, the other alternative is it fools everybody, and it is going to break down. So this is like a massive risk with massive opportunity type price action. You'll have to do what's best for you. Maybe you need to do some fundamental work on the company to see how they're doing, to see if it can give you an edge a little bit. See, it tried to break out of this pattern, and it backtested and even got. So look, that's really bullish actually. That's like a false breakdown, and then this could be just a backtest here, and it holds. And then and if anything, maybe it comes back up to 41 before it gives it up again. So and fills this gap here. Interesting chart. I haven't been paying attention to Roblox, but didn't Snapchat pop and then fade? I wonder if this could do the same thing, pop and fade or something. All right, William, thanks for the 10. Tesla. So I look at Tesla as an interesting chart. I want to see another low. So I have like a 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to see a 5th wave down. I want to see that. And I want to see it hit like 193.57. 173. So I think you could speculate long on Tesla for a bounce here. And I have it doing a lot of choppiness because it's a connector wave. And if you look at this wave here, you see how it was so choppy and all this overlap in waves. And then we got the capitulation wave. Here we get 3 waves, right? So now we're in the first leg. Like here, the first leg. I bet the first leg is going to be choppy just like it was here. So that's why I look for like an extreme rally in 4. Like this. I'm looking for like extreme chop. But ultimately, I do think, only because when I look at where the indices are going, where I look at everything's going, I do think Tesla will eventually break this low and capitulate down and hit this area for the generational buy. But I don't think it will do it without a fight. What will negate that is if this downtrend line gets broke I have here. If we can break out of that, then this is a corrective pattern and it's going to go to new all-time highs. So that's why I think if you really want to speculate in Tesla, you can be patient, buy it at 193, 185, hold for the bounce, and then just see if the market could take you out and take out this 269. If it can, then it's going to new all-time highs. If it can't and gets rejected on the downtrend line, then you're going to get something like I've got showing here. But that's kind of what I'm looking at Tesla right now. Because you could also label this as 5 here. I have it as a WXY, but you really could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is an WXY. So that's why this is kind of an interesting area. If we did bounce here, if let's say we're here and SPY is at 385, a bounce to new all-time highs would actually support an SPY count that I showed in my update earlier that looks something like this. That looks something like an a W, an X, and a bigger Y up to 4, a Y up, and then you get this, the capitulation flat. You get a massive flat. So we have to be careful, and Tesla could show us that by going to a new high off of 185. The other alternative is it doesn't do this, right? And it just does the move like this. And if it does the move like that, then I would expect Tesla to just kind of chop around like I have here and then do this pattern. Something like that. So that's my thinking on Tesla. I could be wrong. Do what's best for you. There is some other bearish undertones here because if you look, I had this line, this neckline, and we back tested massive rejection. We tested it as support. Now we're below it. So there is a chance that we may not get a fifth wave. It could be another 1, 2, 1, 2, and it just gives up the ghost. So that's why you need a stop loss at 173. But anyway, do what's best for you. It's definitely bearish below 223. Thanks for the 10. I think the technology provides the best short opportunity, the biggest bang for your buck. That's what I've been shorting for the last couple months, in and out. HPSA. Okay, yeah, thank you. Target and DG. Target, yeah, so Target, man's been getting beat up, but we predicted that long time ago. The sad thing is it's still going to go lower despite investors like disbelief. My target on here is 5370. More than likely this is going to extend and erase divergence. It almost did here. It did. So now see, this is why you won't want to buy this wave 5. So this is not a wave 5 anymore, which is expected if we were going to have to go down to those levels. It's another 1, 2. That's probably still another 1, 2. Something like that. Actually, it's probably a 3, 4. I want to see a gap down with separation. I don't see that, so that's why I'm not going to label the 3, 4 yet. I'm just extending it until I get that gap down, but something like that. Well, that was a full correction. So this is done actually. So it is 1, 2. Yeah, I mean, this could be a 3, 4, but I think we got. I don't think we extended enough. So I think it's like this. All right. Then the next one you were asking about here, target DG, Dollar General, right? Yeah, that one got really obliterated too. Oh, I think I have that in Staples. I don't know where I put that. I thought I had Dollar General. Yeah, you see our buy area got obliterated here. It got stopped out. So this is in like a grand super cycle crash correction. You notice there's a lot of that happening these days. A lot of stocks are just totally getting blown to pieces in grand super cycle corrections, which may be a hint at things to come for mega cap tech. So it keeps extended down. There's bullish divergence here. That's great. Maybe it finally bottomed with a daily cycle reset. Yeah, I'm okay with calling that. So yeah, I think we found the bottom on this thing. The worst thing could happen is if it breaks the low again. If it comes back and breaks 100, but then like and this is what my was saying about some of these other flats. If it breaks that low, then it becomes a 1, 2, and it goes 3, 4, 5. It does another, so essentially it goes bankrupt. I mean, so yeah, it looks like that correction is over, and we should be building a base now of some kind in this Dollar General stock, and that looks like a nice sequence higher here off the low. 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't think that's a flat. It may be. I don't think it is. It could even be a 3. There's too many possibilities here. It could do something like that. But since it did come up in 3, you got to be careful. Because what if it is a 1, 2? You just don't know. It had a pretty catastrophic decline. I mean, it could be that. If it does that, then essentially the stock we're saying Dollar General is going probably back down to this area 67, 66. So that's how I look at Dollar General right now. I think home builders will retrace. They're probably topping out. I have to look at them closely. So I only got a couple more minutes. I'm not going to go into too many stocks. I'm just going to see the rest of the comments. All right, yeah. So I won't KBH. I'll do KBH just to kind of see what it's doing. Yeah, I don't even have a category for home builders. I don't particularly trade them. I may have done this for somebody in the past. It looks like I have. So we nailed the X wave and we have the Y wave. Yeah, so I think the home builders are just, they're consolidating. They're just going to come down. So that's like what I have for KBH right now. It's actually the more accurate label is ABC, flat correction. Break the low. It's probably break this low here. I won't do the others will follow the same. Google and Link. So Google could, I'd be surprised if Google is a crash correction. It should bounce like I have it here. But I would definitely stop out at 118 if you're long, trying to play this bounce, because it could turn into a crash correction. No one's immune from crash corrections, so I would be careful. So I would say this is negated. If we break like 118, this is negated, and then it becomes a 1-2, 1-2, and it's in a 3-3 free fall. And it is a massive wedge. I mean, if you really step back and look at the bigger picture, it's a massive bearish wedge. And usually those things drop like a rocket all the way down, and then they bounce around here, and then they finish out. So I'd be really careful. I would say, yeah, if it breaks out 118, I would be looking for the wedge collapse in this for whatever reason. GLP-1 stocks. So there's some weight loss drugs out there. Eli Lilly makes it, Mounjaro and Ozempic from Novo, and they are pretty effective. And there's people I know that use them, and they're losing a tremendous amount of weight. They've never lost weight before in their life. Like they're back. Like they're it's just incredible what the results. And I do believe that. As long as there's no side effects, right? They're still studying it, assuming there's no unknown side effect that just comes out and makes these drugs like unusable. Once they get mainstream, and they will be mainstream, it's going to change the investing landscape completely, I think, because how many millions of people are obese that would want to be skinny, and they just take a shot once a week for the rest of their life, and they're freaking skinny again, and they're walking around like an underwear model, right? I mean, anyone would pay for that. So that's what's happening, and I think you got to recognize that. But this is like a 5-year story that plays out as it picks up mainstream. More insurers cover it, comes off patent, right, and that type of. So it's a longer term investment idea, but you got to respect that things have changed. With these drugs, because people are losing crazy weight. People that are were really, really obese, man, and they're they're like I say, they're losing massive weight, but the drug you're on it for life type thing. So it's just interesting. But again, if their side effects come out, then of course, then that will reverse in a heartbeat, that trade. So I do like to buy those stocks that generate money off of that. Those products if they pull back. So buyer of Eli, buyer of NOVO, buyer of anything related on these pullbacks that we're going to get in the market, because it'll take everything down, of course, because I think there is growth in those areas, and that's my personal thoughts on it. So, Nat, the shipping company, Nat. I'll skip over that. I got to finish up, but I didn't talk about the VIX enough, so let's talk about the VIX a little bit. Yeah, the VIX is really interesting. Remember in the March crash, the VIX was building higher, and that was our warning sign. And what is it doing? It's building higher. So we need to look at that. We saw the weekly breakout on the VIX, right? Look at that weekly breakout. You see that? Every time we saw that, you'll get a spike. So basically, as you can see, I look at it, and this divergence is going to get erased. And this is something on the 4-hour you can keep an eye on. When this breaks, that should definitely be the big move down in the indices. It's just build into it here. It's just build into it. So keep an eye on it. It's just right now the VIX is just kind of consolidating. And think of it like a spring that's trying to coil. It's coiling up for a move. And it's bullish, right? Higher highs, higher lows. It's a bullish move. We're over our support. We're over our resistance. We back tested it. It held. We tried again. It held. It made a higher high even. It broke the trend line. Although it didn't, it failed the breakout, which was why we didn't crash on Friday. But I do expect this area to be tagged 26, which I've always said, and then 29, possibly in the final meltdown. And then if we pull back, great. We could pull back for a big rally. But if for some reason we break through 30, there's no real resistance in the VIX till 48. And this is circuit breaker level VIX. So keep that in mind. So it could really get dicey very quickly, the way the VIX I have charted. And of course, by some unknown reason, we break through this 50 level. There's really no other resistance till 84, and even my grand super cycle target of 132, which I thought we would hit much later in the decade, but perhaps the super crash people are right after long and we'll hit this area. But I don't, but let's get, we're way ahead of ourselves. So this is where we are though. We're building. The VIX is building pressure. It's building pressure. It's building pressure. Ticking time bomb. But we'll see how it goes. So this also is a strategy to know when to go long, when to short. If we're below 19.5, it may be safer to go long. Wouldn't be safer to go short. If you're above, it's probably safer to go short. You know, bears are in control. Yeah, I mean, markets could go to all-time highs. I showed you the path. I don't think if even if we rally with the pause, if Paul decides to really pump the markets up, what will happen is this will become 5 waves, and a corrective pattern can't be in 5. So we would get this A, we would get a pump, and yeah, it would be a hell of a pump. It would go up to like 440, but it would actually fail. And I would look to short it right here. And I would look to go long it too. So, but I wouldn't go long until we broke 417, 418 and closed above it. And then I would go long and just ride this up and then short it. It would be a nice, easy swing trade. But this is the PAL pumps. This is the PAL pump scenario that you can hope for. Now the other alternative, if you want to new highs, is if for some crazy reason before Paul speaks, we're down at 390, 385. Now, if Paul speaks down at 385, then you're right. Yeah, then we're set up for this Y wave to new all-time highs, potentially. But I don't know. I don't think we'll be down there when he speaks, but you never know. So I don't know, but I do know that you have to respect both options. I don't think that's going to happen, given the setup that I saw in the Russell and the divergence being erased in the triple Qs. But you got to do what's best for you. I do believe if you're below 415, 413, you're in an area that is a lot of overhead supply, and the bears are in control. If you can flip that back to 418, the bulls are in control, and then maybe long trades are okay to speculate on. I just think that's how I look at the market right now. Bitcoin's a flat pattern. It's a trap. It's a poker trap. I always say the market's poker, not chess, and flats are a classic poker move where they trap a lot of traders that do breakout trading, and then they rug pull, and it's just bears are in control of the market, and they play a game by backing out their sell orders, and they allow the market to pump, and then they wait for the right news to drop to slam it back down in this C leg. Before the real smart money comes in to step in to buy, and so they set a trap, and that's what flats are. Is a trap. Is poker. It's a poker game. This is traders playing the market like poker. Whales, right? Not us. We can't move the market like the whales. These are whales. So that's why it pumped. It pumped because it's set in a trap. It's set in a trap for because they want to they want to create people traps, so they sell down here. And then they pick up their Bitcoin down here. It's a pretty vicious game. There's people that don't know flats that are just trading at random times, or they see the news and they buy. They're gonna panic down here and they'll dump it. But the same people that created the trap, they'll be buying it down here for the real pump later. And I think this is a trap move. Just my opinion, but maybe I'm wrong, right? And if I am, I am. But I think there's a lot of divergence across the market. If the dollar index is going higher, the indices are going lower. If there's you're not getting the pump in the crypto stocks, the altcoins and stuff aren't really moving in like they should with this kind of Bitcoin pump. It just tells me it's something like a trap. Smells like a trap to me. We'll look at Etsy and Crocs. I have those charted real quick. Crocs is pushing the edge of the buy area. I would have stopped out if I was long it. I don't recommend it. It's either got finished here or it's going to go deeper in the correction in the C leg. If it breaks 82, then it's going to take another wave down. And it's going to come back down to 50. So I don't know. Now, if this isn't a 2, then the C is done. This is clear this cycle's over now. And then Etsy. I have a buy at 47.69. Wow, that was a heck of a bounce there, but no, okay, so that's a 3-4 here. So Etsy looks like it's getting close, kind of like Wayfair's getting close. Yeah, that looks like a good buy. And what's earnings? I wonder if it doesn't get here by earnings, I won't try it. But what the hell? I will. If Etsy's down in this area before earnings, I may play a long, just kind of YOLO type move just to see what happens. But you guys do what's best for you on that. But that's what I'm looking at, man. So that's a good one. We'll keep an eye on that one. It's getting close. Okay, I think that's all our comments today. I'm going to wrap up my live stream, guys. Good luck trading next week. I think we'll find our answer if we're in a 1-2-1-2 setup for 3 of 3, or we're in a 5th wave with a nice rebound. We'll know the answer next week, and then that will really define the next 30 days of trading and what it's going to look